I was working the road with Johnny Cash in '62. Johnny Cash was very close with Johnny Horton, my dear friend. And of course, Johnny was killed November 6, 1960. And it really, it just really destroyed me and Johnny Cash. We had been fishing with him, and he was just so close. And so Johnny kind of looked after me when I came to Nashville. He said, now, Merle, look, I want you to go on the road with me. Let me teach you some big-time tricks, you know. And in fact, he said, in 2 months, you're singing in Carnegie Hall. And I said, Carnegie Hall? You're kidding. He said, no, I'm not kidding. And he said, now I want you to stay with me. And then June joined us. And June and I lived in Madison, June Carter, and we lived in Madison. So she said, look, when we're off the road, why don't we just get together every day and write songs? And I said, well, sure. So we got together and we wrote I'm Promised to John, the Hank Snow song, and Hank recorded for us. And then her sister, Anita Carter, had just landed a contract with Mercury. Now this is during all the folk craze of the early '60s, and Anita sung so beautiful, just like an angel, a crystal bell. And so we wrote some folk songs for her. We thought we had them all done, and we started on writing one day, and I said, I'm stuck for an idea. Do you got any thoughts, June? She said, well, Kilgore, I've been looking through some old letters, and a friend of mine just got a divorce, and he said, listen to this, love is like a burning ring of fire. You know, I can't stand it anymore, and I'll never fall in love again. She said, that's something in that title, don't you think? And I said, yeah, I really think we should work on that. Well, we started on it, and we kind of hemmed, hawed around, and we just never could get started. We got through the first verse and maybe a part of the chorus. And so then I said, well, let's just call it a day, and we'll start on it tomorrow. And we had all the songs done for Anita anyway. And she said, okay, but I think it's a good idea. I said, yeah, I love it. So I went back home, and 2 hours later, she calls and says, Kilgore, get back over here quick. They need one more song. They threw out somebody else's song. They need one more song on the album. And I told them that we almost had Ring of Fire finished. So I rushed back over there, and I started writing a verse. So when I got there, she had tightened up the first verse, and we got it all together. And we took it down and sung it live to Anita and the musicians, and bang, it was recorded right then. And it was so beautiful the way she did it. It was slow, and it just rolled with the folk guitar. And everybody heard it, loved it. And Johnny Cash told us on the road, he said, you know what, I dreamed that I heard Ring of Fire with Mexican trumpets, and it was my voice singing. And he said, I'm going to record that song if Anita's record don't hit. So a couple months later, he called me and he said, all right, Kilgore, come on in. I've got those trumpets ready. So I walked in the studio, and those trumpets started playing the Ring of Fire. Wow. Everybody knew it was an instant hit.